Hi Islam, today is a story, The Clumsy Crocodile.
Is Born Young Reading Series 2. The Clumsy Crocodile. Chapter 1. Everglades.
Chapter 1. Everglade.
Cassie Crane was on her way to work.
Cassie Green was on her way to work.
It was the very first day of her new job.
It was the very first day of her new job.
She was going to work at Everglade.
She was going to work at Everglade,
The biggest and best store in town.
the biggest and best store in town.
It sold things you just couldn't buy anywhere else.
It sold things you just couldn't buy anywhere else.
So, when Cassie got a job there,
So when Casey got a job there,
she was as pleased as punch.
she was as pleased as punch.
First, Cassie was sent to work in the China department.
First, Casey was sent to work in the China department.
After only 10 minutes,
After only 10 minutes,
she had sold 60 cups and saucers to a very rich lady.
she had sold 60 cups and saucers to a very rich lady.
She was doing well.
She was doing well.
Cassie packed the china carefully into a box.
Casey packed the china carefully into the box.
She was as gentle as a crocodile can be,
She was as gentle as a crocodile can be,
but maybe just a little slow.
but maybe just a little slow.
The lady began to get impatient.
The lady began to get impatient.
Cassie quickly tied a big bow on the box.
Casey quickly tied a big bow on the box.
She didn't want the lady to be cross.
She didn't want the lady to be cross.
Not her very first customer.
Not her very first customer.
But as Cassie picked up the box,
But as Casey picked up the box,
disaster struck.
disaster struck.
Now be careful.
Now be careful.
She packed it upside down.
She packed it upside down.
60 cups and saucers smashed onto the floor.
60 cups and saucers smashed onto the floor.
The customer stamped her foot angrily and left.
The customer stamped her foot angrily and left.
Crash!
Crash!
Oops!
Oops!
Next, Cassie was sent to the toy department.
Next, Casey was sent to the toy department.
She hoped there was less to break.
She hoped there was less to break.
She didn't want any more accidents.
She didn't want any more accidents.
I must put this ball away,
I must put the balls away.
she thought.
She thought.
Someone could trip over it and have a bad fall.
Someone could trip over it and have a bad fall.
But as she bent down,
But as she bent out,
her tail swung out behind her.
her tail swung out behind her.
The Toy Town Express was knocked right off its rail.
The Toy Town Express was knocked right off its tail.
So she was sent to the food hall.
So she was sent to the food hall.
But there, things went from bad to worse.
But there, things went from bad to worse.
Oops!
Oops!
Cassie tripped over a stool.
Cassie tripped over the stool.
A bowl of salad flew into the air and landed.
A bowl of salad flew into the air and landed
On Ernest Everglade's head.
on Ernest Everglade's head.
Ernest Everglade owned the department store.
Ernest Everglade owned the department store.
He was Cassie's boss, and he was not a happy man.
He was Casey's boss, and he was not a happy man.
Go to my office, he yelled. Now!
Go to my office, he yells. Now!
Trembling, Cassie obeyed.
Trembling, Cassie obeyed.
Chapter 2. A Cross Boss.
Chapter 2. A Cross Boss.
Ernest Everglade was furious.
Ernest Everglade was furious.
He liked salad,
He liked salad,
but not on his head.
but not on his head.
Go and don't ever come back, he told Cassie.
Go and don't ever come back, he told Cassie.
I don't want a clumsy crocodile in my store.
I don't want a clumsy crocodile in my store.
Cassie begged and pleaded.
Cassie begged and pleaded.
She pleaded and begged.
He pleaded and begged.
Just give me one more chance.
Just give me one small chance.
I'll be very careful, she promised.
I'll be very careful, as she promised.
But Mr. Everglade was more interested in his newspaper.
But Mr. Everglade was more interested in his newspaper.
He wasn't even listening to Cassie.
He wasn't even listening to Cassie.
I'll pay for anything I break.
I pay for anything I break.
At last, he looked up.
At last he looked up.
I don't have time for you,
I don't have time for you,
he sighed.
he sighed.
Some jewel thieves are in town. The famous greedy boys.
Some jewel thieves are in the town. The famous greedy boy.
Cassie gasped.
Cassie
Everyone had heard of the greedy boys,
Everyone had heard of the greedy boys,
but she still wanted her job back.
but he still wanted her job back.
She began to cry.
She began to cry.
Now, Mr. Everglade couldn't stand crying.
Now, Mr. Everglade couldn't stand crying now.
He would do anything to stop it.
He could do anything to stop it.
Okay, he said.
Okay, he said.
Go to the luxury goods department first thing Monday morning.
Go to the luxury goods department first thing Monday morning.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You won't regret it.
You don't regret it.
I promise.
I promise.
Chapter 3. Getting it right.
Chapter 3. Getting it right.
The next day was Sunday.
The next day was Sunday.
Cassie worked hard at home,
Cassie worked hard at home,
getting ready for Monday.
getting ready for Monday.
She emptied her cupboards and stacked everything inside them.
She emptied her cupboard and stacked everything inside them.
She stacked every pot,
She stacked every pot,
plate, cup, and saucer in the house.
She stacked every pot, plate, cup, and saucers in the very house. Goodbye.